Oh, yeah. Here we go, baby, man. What a great way to start the season. And it started out a little shaky because before the game, we got notice that CMC was not going to play. Now, I don't know if this was something that the 49ers knew, and then they were trying to act as if he was going to play. CMC sure seemed confident himself that he was going to play. I didn't add this to the topic list, but we talked about it regardless. So let's talk about it here. CMC not playing, 49ers route. Jordan Mason looks phenomenal. And this is an injury that started at the end of last year, has now reflared up during this training camp. We were there when it happened. And now we've gotten word that he might not play next week. With how good things look today, should the 49ers just consider maybe putting him on IR? I want to take a second to shout out today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Promo code LSS. Link is in the description. Right now, Underdog Fantasy has a promotion where if you use my promo code, you will get 50% deposit match up to $1,000 and one free pick. An example of a free pick was week 1, Travis Kelce, 1 yard gained. If you added him to any of your slips, you were an automatic winner on that pick. And you can play daily fantasy, weekly fantasy, yearly fantasy, all best ball style. Choose over unders, whatever it is that tickles your fancy. And the best part is they give you a chance to flex your picks. That means if you do a 3 pick and you're not that confident, you can hit on 2 and you come out a winner. Shout out to Underdog for always being a great sponsor. And remember, supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Let's get back to the video.
100%. I mean, I think they consider it. I don't think and so that's the idea that I think that you didn't put this on there, but you did. There's a question that I had about, was this offense going to be able to run this run game, going to be able to play with Jordan Mason? I think you have no idea how many texts I was getting all night. And I'm living in Minnesota. I'm getting Vikings fans, Packers fans, friends back from Iowa, who are big Purdy fans, things like that, or like Breece Hall fans. And they're like, this dude's for real. This dude's got juice. This dude's like, he's trucking people. They're afraid to hit him. They're like, and what was amazing about a lot of Jordan Mason's runs was that it was in between the tackles. Like it was, and he was looking for contact. He was bruising people. He was abusing people. And so, yeah, my thing is, look, I told people pump the brakes. CMC was almost MVP of the league last year. And you go into Minnesota next week. Hey, we lost there last year, right? Sam Darnold's the MVP candidate already. Okay. So you got to be worried about that. But I think that whether you go on IR, it'd be nice to open up a spot. I think you get the Rams. The Rams are beat up right now. They got no Nakua. They got a bunch of their offensive line's almost all injured. I think this is one of those things where you trust what you just saw against what everybody thought was one of the best, if not a top 3 defense in the NFL. The Niners had their way. They just scored too many field goals, right? But they've also played pretty conservatively at the end just to be safe. The Niners, make no mistake, dominated this Jets defense tonight.
Yeah, they most certainly did. And the reason that I put this on there is, it sounds like they've already made the decision before the game started that he likely wasn't going to play next week, because they brought it up already. Like, there's a good chance he doesn't play in week 2 either. So if that is the case, now here's the hard part, though, is that you only have so many IR spots and so many guys you can bring back. So it just depends on how bad you need that roster spot. But what I want to say is that Mason, after tonight, if there was any question or any hesitation, it's like, well, now you're good. Like, clearly you're good. I just want CMC to be right. And coming off of the season last year where I don't know how many times we did a post-game show and we're like, dude, how many times is he going to touch the ball? At some point, man, like, get somebody else in there. Mason's a capable back. Well, now coming off of a long season for CMC at 28 years old, it's clear that maybe it would have been nice to hold some of those touches for him last year, right? Hindsight's 2020, but here we are. So why not ease him in? And if it means putting him on IR, if that is the best thing for him, I just don't see this injury that lingered all offseason, technically started the year prior, getting better in just 1 week. So why even risk anything when you've got good things going? And the schedule is very, very favorable to start the season.
Well, and like you said, Jesse, there's a lot of questions that I know we were going to get to that's all dovetails into the CMC decision. And I think you pump the brakes on overreacting to one game. I did think, I wouldn't say Aaron Rodgers shit the bed, but I would say Aaron Rodgers, I think people need to pump the brakes on what he's going to be this year. I think he looks slow. He made some bad decisions. He had some drops from his guys, but I still think this is a legitimate team. They come in on Monday Night Football. Had a lot of teams picking the Jets, a lot of teams picking the Jets to cover after that. I think that you got to trust Jordan Mason. He had 28 carries tonight, and that shows the next closest with Debo with 8. Okay, so I think Joe Mixon had 30 carries, and then Dameon Pierce had 3. It was pretty close to that type of ratio. Like Kyle clearly showing that he is willing to run, this workhorse. And I think you go into Minnesota next week, the run defense is much worse. Okay, and I just don't see any reason why you should. That they should go to CMC too early. Let him heal, see what's happening, have him come back after the Patriots game, and he'll be good.
Yeah, Jay, this is exactly why I wanted guaranteed money. Not because he was hurt then, but because you just don't know what can happen. I mean,
100%.
Imagine the 49ers at the end of this season, and who knows how it's going to play out. We're talking about week 1 here, right? But let's say CMC had no guaranteed money, struggles to be healthy all season. Jordan Mason looks as good as he did tonight. It's like, well, no, we're not going to pay you anymore. You can leave. No more guaranteed money. We're moving on. This is exactly why a guy like CMC and Trent Williams, by the way, do want that money. You just never know what can happen. This league moves very, very quickly. This is exactly why CMC wanted to get paid. I don't think it was a premeditated. He wasn't injured or anything like that. But this is a reason why these guys want to get paid. Dave Barclay says, so what do we think? Bad offseason, good start. Not a good start, a great start. A great start. Samir says, CMC plus Mason is the best running back room. Too soon. No, not at all. No, not too soon at all. Not too soon. As long as CMC is even close to CMC, not too soon.